Alright you guys, now that we've talked about what the CRM is used for, how to log in and how to change the dashboard, now we're going to talk about probably the most important part about CRM, and that's how to create a case or how to log an interaction. The first thing that we're going to need to do is find the contact that the interaction was with. So let me give you an example. The first thing that I'm going to need to do is click Call Center up here at the top of the screen and then select Contacts. This is going to bring up the full list of contacts that are available to me. So if I search Frodo Baggins, I'll begin by just typing in the first name and then the last name separated by an asterisk. Once I search that, then all of the students that fit that criteria will pop up to me. Now obviously I see two students here, and it's fairly obvious to see that this first one is the correct one, but what will most likely happen is you'll have a bunch of students that have the same name. So what we'll have to do now is verify a different piece of contact information, either the date of birth or the address. As I can see here, this first one is the correct student, so I'll go ahead and select that student's name. The next thing I'll see is the contact's personal page. All of the contact information will be over here on the left, and the previous cases will be here on the right. So if I want to create a new case for this particular student, I'm going to click on this tiny little plus sign right here, which is Add a Case Record. What I'm going to now see is the case page, and the first step to creating or logging this interaction is going to be filling out the caller details. Because I selected the student beforehand, I searched his name, I don't have to put that in. That's going to already auto-populate for us, which is pretty nice. So the next one says, is the caller the regarding contact? So basically this is asking if the student called or if someone called on behalf of the student. Let's pretend that Frodo's mom called instead of the actual student. So I'm going to select no, the caller is not the regarding contact. We don't know the person calling, but we do know that the relationship is the mother, so I'm going to add that in. What I'm going to now do is add a title to the case. The title is going to be the course and then any of the hashtags that I'll talk about in a second. So I'll go ahead and put up on the screen right now the hashtags that are generally used by front desk, and all of these hashtags just kind of categorize the cases so that they can look at the data and see, oh, we've had this many cases regarding this topic. So here's a list of the hashtags that we use, and this list will be available to you if you ever have questions. So let's go back to the case, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put in a hashtag that says rush grade request. Maybe they need a grade on their assignment quicker than usual, so they're calling in for that. And I can add as many hashtags as I want, and I can make up ones if there's kind of a more difficult situation or whatnot. So the next thing that I'm going to do is add a category to the case. These categories are preset, so all I need to do is click on this little search bar, and I'm going to select the category that best fits the activity. So because this was for a rush grade request, then I'm going to go ahead and click maybe assignment. That'll be the category of my case. So the next thing I'm going to do, I need to save the case before I can move on. So I just click save up here at the top. This didn't really change anything, it just saved the case so I can move on. So the next thing I'm going to do is I need to add the course that this case is regarding. So many times students will be enrolled in multiple different courses, so we need to pick one that this goes to. So I'll click up here at the top, this little icon right here that says Get Courses. I'm going to go ahead and select that. As we can see here, Frodo Baggins is enrolled in tons of different courses. So usually this list will be much smaller, and I can just pick the course that we're dealing with. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Human Anatomy, this Biology 049, and I'm going to click Add to Case. What I'm going to do also is I'm just going to copy the course ID so I can add that to the case title. So I'm going to go ahead and click Add to Case. And after this loads up, now I can see the course is Human Anatomy. I'm going to go back up to the case title, and I'm just going to paste in that course number. So we know what course it's regarding and kind of what activity this case has to do with. So now that all of our caller details are taken care of, the next step is to actually write down what happened. So right here in the middle we have posts, activities, and notes. I'm going to go ahead and click on activities, and I'm going to click add a phone call because Frodo's mom called, and I can begin typing the interaction. So if I can type, Frodo's mom called regarding a rush grade request. And I can go on and explain the situation in detail and make sure this is very detailed, just so the front desk knows exactly what happened. If I made any exceptions, like I said I'll take care of the grade instead of making the instructor do it, that needs to go in the activities log, just so the front desk and everyone else knows that this is what happened, so that we're all on the same page. What I'm going to do now is just click OK, and now I can see here that an activity has been added by me, that Frodo's mom called regarding rush grade requests and any other information if that's needed. So we're almost done. The last step that we need to do is change the case status. Right here we see the case status and it says in progress. But I've taken care of the problem. I fixed the situation. I let Frodo's mom know that we were going to take care of the grading. So it's not really in progress anymore. We can go ahead and we can resolve the case, as it's called in CRM. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select this drop-down menu, and I'm going to go ahead and click Resolved because I took care of the issue. There's nothing else that we need to do with this case because everything's been taken care of. The other options, just so we can go over it, we have in progress, we have awaiting instructor, in progress with systems, in progress with corrections, ready for follow-up, resolved, resolved and transferred, and canceled. Many of these are self-explanatory, but I'll just go over a few that we might use as TAs or tutors. Resolved and transferred might be one that we use a lot, especially as TAs and tutors. We don't handle a lot of the issues, but we do know who to send the student to get that problem solved. So maybe the student calls in and has a question about their proctor, and so we tell them, oh, well, all we need to do is transfer you to the front desk and they'll get that taken care of. That still needs to be put into CRM, just so we're documenting all interactions with students. But instead of me resolving the issue, I've resolved my part and I've transferred it to the particular department that's necessary. So that one can go under resolved and transferred. If I'm waiting for an instructor to add something to the course, I can click awaiting instructor, or whichever one best fits the situation. But in this case I'm going to go ahead and click resolved because I took care of it, and then I'm going to just save the case. Down here at the bottom right hand corner we click save, and then we're finished. So I'm going to go ahead and exit out of the case. I'll just go back to the students page, and now I can see here over on the right, once this loads up, I can see my case right here that I just created. I'll go and click on the case again just so we can see it kind of in its finished detail. I have all of the contact information that I put in. I can click activities and I can see that this case was, I can see all the information about the case and that it's been resolved. So that's kind of the basics on how to create a case. If you ever have questions, please feel free to talk to your team lead or a student supervisor. I know this is a lot of information and a lot of moving parts, but once you get the hang of it and once you kind of practice it a few times, it is fairly simple. So thank you guys for watching and good luck.